Here we have a skein of yarn, and you'll notice that every skein of yarn has a label on it which gives you information. This tells you that this yarn is a medium weight yarn, and if you look at this number here, you see that it tells you that they recommend that you use a US size 8 needle. In the European ones, they measure their needles by millimeters, so it would be a size 5 millimeter needle. And this information is what helps you to decide what size needle you should use. As you become a more expert knitter, you'll find that you're going to want to make variations on this depending on how tight or loose you knit and exactly what kind of yarn you're using. Another option would be to use a lighter weight material, and you can see on here that it is a 3 or lightweight, not medium weight, and that they recommend that you use a size 6 needle. See if I can get that in better focus. It's a little bit hard to read. Feeling this yarn, you'll see that it is a little bit thinner than the other yarn. You'll notice that both of these yarns are acrylic. I recommend for knitting for a baby that you use acrylic because it is soft. It doesn't create allergic reactions like wool might, and it is very easily washable. Labels of yarn are very helpful. It tells you how many yards are in it, and it also gives you washing instructions, which you can look up on the internet to see what that tells you you can or can't do. For our project, we're going to use this medium weight yarn, and we're going to use size 8 needles. You can go to the store and you'll find that needles are either, the size of it was often on the end of the needle, but on these particular needles it's written very indistinctly on the needle itself. This is a size 6 needle, which is what you would use with the pink yarn that we had before. This is a size 8 needle, if you can see it barely, but if you could read it if you saw it in real life. And this is what we're going to use to knit our hat. In addition, to complete the hat, you're going to need a sewing needle, a knitting sewing needle. This particular one happens to be plastic. You can also buy them in the store in metal. But all knitting needles have a very large eye that makes it easier to thread it, and typically do not have an overly sharp edge so it doesn't split the yarn when you're doing the sewing, which we will do at the end. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. Any old scissors will do. And if you decide that you're going to use what we call an I-cord at the end, you're going to need 2 double-pointed needles. As you can see, these have points on either end of the needle, and we'll be learning that in the options section. If you don't want to do that, you can also simply use some ribbon, and in this case I've just bought some grosgrain ribbon that we will use as one option for finishing off your hat. So with that in mind, we can start to knit.